Well, all right. I'd like to just say 50,000 followers on Facebook. I mean, wow, is that weird? Don't even know how to process that. Thanks for everybody for jumping on in and joining on in, and we just hanging out and trying to keep it cool, trying to keep it light, and that's all right, and that's how I like it. As I talked about the last time, I'm doing an audio version of my book. I'm reading it out to you for those that you don't want to suffer through it. And that's what it's all about. And I read this a decade ago, the Book of Maleki, and boy, I wouldn't have read it again. I mean, there's some things that just shouldn't have been said. And boy, I already said it. So the cat is out of the bag. That is the life of the internet. Once it's out, it's out. Here we go. This is chapter one. Greatest bedtime story ever. Maybe not. For those about to rock. When a family is on vacation, the first destination is the lobby of the hotel that they are staying at. Here is where the average American family gets to enjoy new surroundings away from their regular routine. On this night, Dad, Mom, and the kids are standing in front of the check-in desk with their luggage, weary from travel, yet excited about being on vacation. To the horror of the parents, next to them waiting to get a room is me with two drunk strippers. The girls had on enough clothes between them to make a napkin, a good-sized napkin, but a napkin nonetheless. I was wearing my usual ripped clothing with dark sunglasses and a smile. Loud and laughing, they were having a hard time balancing on the high heels and not spilling the drinks we still had from the hotel bar. I was holding myself up in between them when the mom of the family outing gave me the look. She positioned herself in front of her children, using her open coat as a cape to cover their eyes. As she was giving me the "how dare you" look, with one quick snap of the head, she kept flashing her husband a facial expression that was loud and clear. Take one look at those girls and I will kill you. I don't know how their night turned out, but mine was awesome. Walking up to the room with the girls, I was asking myself, how did I end up here? Only 3 years on the road, and my path to insanity was already looking like footprints in the sand, distant, fading, and unrecognizable. That night had been a long time in the making. That had to be early 88, I'm guessing. I don't remember. Growing up, I was addicted to concerts. I would go to as many shows as I could, always getting there early to look at the speakers and count the lights. And boy, that is true. I would. Made my friends crazy. Nobody wanted to hang out with me. And check out the rig and see what it was all about. Everyone was about chasing the chicks, which is a noble cause as well. But I was into seeing what the gig was all about. My first gig working a local rock show was in the early 70s. At just 10 years old, I would go out with a local rock band while my mom worked nights. The guys who would look out for me owned a sound system, and a rock band lived across the street. On Friday and Saturday nights, I would go out with these guys and set up shows in Cleveland's finest biker bars. By the time I was 12, I could set up a sound system, load a truck, ride a motorcycle, and roll a joint. All valuable skills I would retain through my lifetime. And that's true. My babysitters I had were a rock band, and I would go out with them. My mom worked the double shift, So I was one they called the latchkey kid back in the 70s. And I just hung out with the band, yeah. My nights in the rock clubs consisted of drinking Cokes, playing pinball, and when Steve, the sound guy, would pass out drunk, I would take over behind the console. The band could always tell when I was mixing because I would turn the bass up. That's true. The audio consoles back then had huge knobs that made it look like you were bringing Frankenstein's monster to life, not turning up a guitar solo. And that is true. It was huge knobs that you were manipulating. Huh, manipulating huge knobs. Pretty funny. When the show was over, the white bar lights would come on bright and brutal. Drunken guys would stumble out with drunken girls. The Harleys would rumble away into the night, and we would load the show out, much like I still do. My teen life was pretty normal. I dropped out of school in the ninth grade, became emancipated, got an apartment with two 18-year-old girlfriends when I was 16. I was always willing to try something new. We had an apartment in Cleveland Heights in this neighborhood called Coventry, and our apartment was right on Coventry Road. And I was lived right above this place called Record Revolution, which was a record store. They had used records, and it was like the hip, cool place. And across the street was Coventry Beverage and Pizza. We called it CB&P. So for $2 in the middle of the night, you can get a po' boy and a 40 ounce. And nobody ever heard of checking for IDs in Cleveland. I mean, that's how it was. And me and the two chicks lived there. And to say it was off the hook, um, putting it lightly, that was my teen life. Answering ads in the local scene magazine, I was always ready to go out and meet new people for the price of a phone call and a bus token. Every kind of audition, from bass player to adult film actor, was only a phone call away. And yes, I went auditions for adult film actor, and to say that that was weird is putting that a little lightly as well. And that is another story. It seems like a new adventure was awaiting for me on the back pages of the local classifieds. Every day and night of my life, I was restless, like there was something I was supposed to be doing. By my early 20s, I was sick of everything. I loved my friends, liked my girlfriends, but I was ready for something new. Answering an ad in the back of the local music paper would soon change it, all that forever. And boy, is that true. Is that true? When I answered an ad in the back of a scene magazine in Cleveland, and boy, and it was just nonstop from that point out. And pretty soon, I'll read that, and I'm going to tell you all about it, and it's going to be awesome.